And I want to bring in Sean Spicer, Communications Director for the Republican National Committee. Sean, thanks so much for being with me this morning.
Absolutely, Jose. Thank you for having me.
The race seems to be pretty tight. Are you nervous about McConnell's chances?
Well, I think it's going to be tight, but I'm not nervous. Senator Mitch McConnell, as was pointed out, has been doing this for 30 years. He's one of the best. The last he leads in 18 of the last 21 polls. The Real Clear Politics average has him up about 4.5 points. And Senator McConnell's doing everything he has to do and doing it right. So he's got a great campaign. He's got a great ground game down there. I feel really good about where this will end up on election night.
You know, let's look at it nationally, because experts say this is an election really tailor-made for Republicans. What does the Republican Party need to do if, for example, you still don't win the Senate?
Well, two things. One, I feel very confident that we're going to win the Senate. And part of that is because for two reasons. One, I think when you look at the national polls, there's a lot of people in America that really want change. They want to see things getting done. They want to see change happen in Washington. And I think, frankly, we've been making the case that bills are getting passed over from the Republican House in a bipartisan way and just getting stalled in the Senate. And I think that message is resonating. So, one, I think that message is resonating in battleground states. We will take back the Senate. I think the other thing is that, to your broader point, when you look at where we are as a party, from the state legislative races all the way up through gubernatorial and federal races, you look at governor's races. We're in single digits in Maryland. Larry Hogan is running a fantastic campaign in a very blue state in Maryland and got that thing into single digits. You look at Rhode Island, single digits. You got Massachusetts with Charlie Baker leading Martha Coakley. Connecticut, Daniel Malloy down to Tom Foley. Governor LePage up in Maine, you know, right now ahead. So you look around the country at governor's races, you look at state legislative races where we're going to flip into supermajority houses like Maine and Minnesota. And there's a lot of these really promising spots around the country where as a party we can say that we've done very, very well.
Okay, so let's look at some of the numbers, because according to the NBC News Wall Street Journal poll earlier this month, when asked about how they feel about the direction this country is going, 65% said that we're on the wrong track. 25% said it's headed in the right direction. Let's say Republicans do win the Senate. What's a roadmap over the next 2 years? Because, you know, gridlock is something everybody really despises.
You're absolutely right. I think everyone, no matter what side of the aisle you're on right now, looks at Washington and just sort of wonders what the heck is going on here and wants to see things getting done. I think that we will finally be able to pull the curtain back and show House of Representatives, which is controlled by Republicans, has been passing things that matter to people, jobs bills, thing to get us, you know, whether it's education, regulatory reform, comprehensive tax reform, things to get people back to work, help stabilize and grow businesses, are getting done and passed over the Senate. I think with Mitch McConnell as a leader over the Senate, you're going to see more of that action happen and get sent to the president's desk. So it'll be a real choice about which party's making things happen. I think Speaker Boehner's laid out a 5-point roadmap that talks about tax reform, regulatory reform. But I think the two biggest things that Republicans are going to do is, one is attempt to provide that oversight and restore the confidence in government. You talked about Ebola with Debbie Wasserman Schultz. It's not just one issue. I think right now people question whether or not the government's working for them and working properly. And I think we need to restore some confidence in that. And second is, just real quickly, is have a laser-like focus on the economy and jobs.
Let's talk about another issue that, you know, is important to a lot of people, immigration reform. Immigration is broken. I think both sides agree on that. The House of Representatives couldn't get their act together on putting something forward. Do you think that immigration reform is something that you Republicans could clearly elaborate a plan on the importance of it and what you would be in favor of?
I do think so. I think, but first and foremost, it's got to start with securing the border first. And we saw that this summer where thousands and thousands of children were coming over the border every week and every day and creating a massive problem in this country. I think that we cannot start to talk about how do we have immigration reform as a whole until we really start to acknowledge the problem that we have and how we're going to deal with ensuring that people who are in this country are here legally, people who want to work here are citizens, are here legally. So I think that that's going to be first and foremost, and I think the two houses, the House and the Senate, can start to work together to create a plan that ensures that the proper steps are taken to accomplish that.
Sean Spicer, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for being with me this morning.
Thank you, Jose. Appreciate it.
MSNBC